So you want to know the top 5 qualities of a good man? Stay tuned. I've got about 10 minutes and we're going to go through 'em. Now, my background. I have been divorced and now married to an awesome man. So I learned a lot along the way and I'm going to share it with you today. The final one is the most important one. It is the one that will literally weed out so many men for you quickly. So watch the whole video for that. Number 1, time management. Does he attune himself and keep himself in the awareness of time? Does he know how to plan? Can he think about time in a linear way? This is going to change the game for you because this is the skill set that will allow him to set up dates, to understand what your commitments are, to combine schedules. It will just add greater ease to everything and will help him to think in context with regard to your life, his life, and your lives together. So time management is number 1. Number 2, obsession. And what I mean by obsession, this is going to sound a little funny, but obsession means he is committed to something that is greater than you. So there's something in his life that he is so passionate about that has nothing to do with women. Okay. This could be collecting cars. This could be literally anything. It could be a hobby. It could be literally his work. And I don't mean from the perspective of overworking. I mean that he feels like there is a mission that he is about. And if he never saw another woman in his life, he would be so fulfilled in the pursuit of this mission and the creation of this mission that he would be okay and totally fulfilled by it. And what happens with these men is that their women become something that they wrap the mission around. So in a healthy relationship, especially with men who have passion, when you meet these men, the passion is already something that's been sustaining them prior to your presence in his life. And when you show up in his life, he is going to amplify that passion because now he's going to have a bigger mission because of your presence. But the mission was already there, and the mission has nothing to do with women. Like, he's so focused. He's so, like, he can't outrun it. He won't outrun it. It's something that is so persistent in his existence and his purpose that he literally wakes up every day and works on it without anybody having to tell him to. And when you show up in his life, he will then see it as an opportunity to make a life for both of you, or you will increase the amount of purpose he feels in this passion, an amount of like dedication and devotion and discipline to the passion, obsession with something that is not related to women. Number 3 is he is neutral in the presence of emotional expression. I'm reading from my notes because my memory is on other things. But a man who is a really, really solid man can be neutral in the presence of all of your emotions. And I don't just mean the storms, right? I don't just mean when you've hit like a valley and you're not feeling well and something comes up in the dynamic that you're upset about, right? Because that's inevitable. I mean also when you're in your joy. Also, when you're in your peace, also when you're in your fun and your play, right? He is the man who can remain neutral and be a witness to it and remain steady in it. He is not moved by it, right? He will receive it and then take action as he feels appropriate with it. However, he is not manipulated by the presence of your emotions. It does not sway him, right? I think of like the big oak tree where like the wind blows and some of the leaves might shake, but that tree is rooted. That tree is steady. That tree is a source of stability. And that's what I mean by neutral in the expression of your emotions, of his emotions, and of anyone's emotions, really, right? Because if you're doing life with this person, life is going to life. There's going to be transitions. There's going to be changes. There's going to be marriages. There's going to be divorces. There's going to be deaths. There's going to be births. There's going to be so many things that come to you and to him and to both of you as you're in relationship. And it's going to be so important for his nervous system and yours that you have a steady anchor there that can receive, that can hold space and not attach to how you're feeling and not attribute meaning to what you're expressing to him and then change his actions as a result of that. Your expression may inform to a degree how he decides to move and the actions that he decides to take, but he is a very safe space for you to express respectfully and appropriately, of course. Number 4 is he's curious. He is so curious. And what I mean by that is, especially within the context of conversations, of emotional expression, of scenarios that are unexpected, is this one like stacks on the neutrality, right? So he is neutral and then he's curious. He seeks understanding. He seeks clarification. He's going to ask the deeper questions. He's going to look at it from a few different perspectives and he's going to reflect, right? Because curiosity is the fertile ground for reflection and awareness. And so he's really going to look back, like sit back, and he's going to be like, I heard her say that. And what is she really saying? And he's not going to fill that, right, with his own answer. He's going to say, I hear this and I'm curious. I wonder what you're really saying. I wonder what's under here. I wonder what the elephant in the room is. I wonder what makes you respond this way to that person and this way to me. Like, there is a natural curiosity about you and a natural curiosity about himself. He is capable of being curious and reflective about his own actions, his own way of thinking, his own intentions, right? Where is that coming from? What might I be craving that I haven't been aware of up until now? What might be in my blind spots? What might we create from this new place, right? That is so, so important because again, you're two people coming together at a point in time in life and you're going to be evolving. My husband is no longer the man that I married 4 years ago or started dating 7 years ago. And I am not the woman that he married 4 years ago, nor am I the woman he started dating 7 years ago. We have both evolved so much. And if there was no curiosity on his part or on mine, we probably would not have made it very far because we both hold the context that this life is an evolution. It's a journey of growth. It's a journey of expansion and contraction and asking questions and getting curious. And it's a life that can be designed, but it can only be designed when you have awareness and willingness. So curiosity is a big one. Now, the final one that I'm going to share with you is the one that I think is the most important. And I'm going to give you a bonus one after this one, because the bonus one is the foundation for all of this. The bonus one is the fertile soil for all of these. But the fifth one, and this would save a lot of relationships. This will save you a ton. This will save you a ton of headache in relationships. And it's the first thing that you need to be looking for if you're dating and looking to be in partnership and you're discerning around who is a yes and who is a no. This one is impulse control. And what I mean by impulse control is that we all have impulses, okay? If you're like me, you've had a moment of impulse shopping before. You've had a moment of shiny object syndrome, right? Where you're like, oh my gosh, look at that thing. Or you're headed down, the aisle of a store and you had a list of things that you came to buy for sure. And then you see something that catches your eye at the checkout and you drop it in your cart, right? That's an impulse. An impulse is like, pops up and you act on it immediately without thinking about it a bit deeper or without the capacity to even stop yourself in that moment and choose differently. So impulse is like, does he have the ability to tell himself no and to delay gratification? This quality is so important because the lack of this quality, when someone doesn't have this quality, whether it be man or woman, that opens up the door to so many things in relationship. It opens up the door to emotional infidelity. It opens up the door to physical infidelity. This man cannot keep his fingers on the pulse of his principles, meaning what he is a stand for, what he is creating, what he is committed to, then he will absolutely implode. He will self-implode. And if you're in relationship with him, he will take you with him. And not necessarily always because has inherently bad character, but more so because he lacks awareness of himself. And therefore, if they lack awareness of themselves, they lack awareness of you and your depth. So the impulse control is like, if he wants something, does he say yes to himself immediately without thinking of the consequences, without thinking of the ripple effect? And the word consequences has a negative connotation to it, but I say it because can make a yes or no decision whilst considering what are the next two things that happen after that. like who is impacted by this yes and this no, or this yes or this no, right? Like what does this one decision create in the long term? Can he hold that focus? Does he have the internal fortitude and the internal discipline to say, I want this thing right now, and I know it's not good for me, and I know it's not in alignment with who I say I am and who I want to be, and I know it's not alignment with my commitments to my relationship, so I am going to forego this. This does not mean that this man does not desire. This man is human and you are human. So we get to take into account that there will always be desires. There will always be desires, right? Of something different, something more, something a little unique, right? A different frequency, a different flavor. And yet the man who has developed his identity to the point where he can literally leverage his impulse control will always move in a way that aligns with that. The bonus quality is willingness, a willingness to have all of these qualities, a willingness to develop himself, a willingness to do the inner work and the outer work so that he can be a man that moves every single day, whether you're present or not, with all of these qualities. He's got to be willing to let the other habits go. He's got to be willing to change his mindset. He's got to be willing to make mistakes and then take accountability and then repair, just as you do too, because he will meet you at the level of your willingness. And if you won't meet him there, then you both don't belong together, right? So there really is a foundation to all of these qualities, and the foundation to that is the willingness of you and of him as you develop and grow into this relationship. So those are the top 5 qualities, green flags in a man. And I'm not just saying, does he have one of these? No, he needs to have at least 3 to 4 of these initially, right? There's definitely men who, if they are rooted and committed to willingness, who will develop these, especially if you meet him younger in life, like when he's in his 20s or even early 30s. But you will not create this for him. He has to choose these qualities for himself. He must have an innate desire to embody these qualities. And if he does, then congratulations, you got yourself a good man, and you're probably a great woman. So let's celebrate that.